The good, bad and ugly of the transfer window and beyond. Now that the dust has settled on the January transfer window and Aston Villa have had a shot in the arm, what does the immediate future hold? The good. In the end, the transfer window was a successful one for Aston Villa. There will be an alternative take later, but for now, let's focus on the facts. Jadon Philogene, Emiliano Buendia, and John Duran have been swapped for Daniel Malin, Marco Asensio, and Marcus Rashford, representing a clear upgrade in quality and experience. Meanwhile, Diego Carlos has departed, with Axel Disasi arriving on loan as a short-term sticking plaster solution to help Villa navigate the rest of the season. In the short term, Villa are fully fired up for their triple-headed challenge, improving their league position, progressing in the FA Cup, and, of course, winning the Champions League. The FA Cup remains an intriguing distraction. While it has often been treated as an afterthought over the past 2 seasons, arguably for the past decade, the comfortable win over a depleted Spurs side has opened up an opportunity. Not only is this Villa's first time in 10 years progressing beyond the 4th round, but the home draw against Cardiff presents a real chance to go even further. With Liverpool, Chelsea, and Arsenal already out and other clubs struggling for form, there is a genuine path to success in the FA Cup without it interfering with Villa's primary objectives this season. Additionally, with players competing for places and Malin and Garcia unavailable for European matches, the FA Cup could become even more significant over the coming weeks. Villain of the Week, Daniel Malin. It has been a tough start for the recently recruited Dutchman. Brought in with Champions League aspirations, his first 2 appearances came in disappointing team performances against West Ham and Wolves. Then, after the merry-go-round of the transfer window, he found himself left out of Villa's European squad. Not an ideal situation for any new permanent signing. Despite this setback, Malin showed no signs of frustration in the FA Cup win against Spurs, impressing everyone with his work ethic, even if his finishing still needs refinement. Players with the right mentality are exactly what Villa need, and if Malin navigates this difficult period and makes an impact in the FA Cup and Premier League, he could have a very bright future at the club. The bad. One side of the coin is the excellent job Aston Villa did in balancing the books and bringing in quality reinforcements during the transfer window. The other side is how they ended up in such a precarious situation in the first place. With 72 hours left before the window closed, it looked like Villa would end the season weaker than they had finished 2024. John Duran was out the door, Ezri Konsa was the only fit central defender, and all other targets were either too expensive or unwilling to join. For a club in the last 16 of the Champions League, the lack of planning and reliance on last-minute deals falling into place was extraordinary. Duran had left. Arsenal had submitted a bid for Ollie Watkins, Diego Carlos was sold before a replacement was secured, Buendia was gone without a replacement, and both Tyrone Mings and Pau Torres were still sidelined. At one point, it looked like Villa's wheels were about to fall off. While it was eventually pulled out of the fire, you can't treat transfer windows like last-ditch tackles. Eventually, the gamble will backfire, and for a club on the brink of greatness, it was the worst possible time to gamble. The ugly. John Duran, a name that will be remembered at Villa Park for spectacular goals, questionable attitude, a reckless sending off, and the second most important goal against Bayern Munich in the club's history. For fans, it's disappointing that a player you would buy a ticket to see has chosen to play his football in Saudi Arabia. While the generational wealth and the chance to play with Cristiano Ronaldo is hard to decline, the chance to win a Champions League at a young age and play a major role is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. For Villa, the situation could have turned into a disaster had Marcus Rashford not arrived on loan. Right on cue, Ollie Watkins picked up a groin strain, and suddenly, Malin was the only fit striker. But whether by luck or decisive action, Villa managed to turn things around. For fans, it's a shame that the Captain Chaos option of Duran is no longer available, but the money received from his sale will alleviate some PSR concerns for the summer and helped fund the arrivals of Marco Asensio and Marcus Rashford. Nobody will know until the end of the season how it all plays out, but for now, Villa fans can thank Duran for the entertainment, watch his antics from afar, and focus on the real business of chasing glory.